Squirrel Whisperer. This is my review for DoDoLook's Anart 12 megapixel 1080 HP camera. And before we get into all the description of it, we're going to let you just enjoy. That was an audio clip from the song Biscaya, a German sailing song that I particularly like. Okay, here is the case that you get. Great case for protecting your Anart camera. And here's what you first see when you open it up. Now, taking a look at the bottom left compartment, this is the pieces that you'll have inside of it. And we'll describe those pieces here. You have two bases and one base insert mount here, and a J mount, and then you also have a rotating mount, or I'm sorry, a round mount here that would fit on the end of a tripod or on the end of a selfie stick or a monopod. Now, this particular mount I'm not too fond of, because this actual mount here is designed to pull your camera out of its protective case and snap it inside of this. So it's meant to hold your camera when it's not in its protective case. I'm not fond of that piece at all. Okay, here is a bicycle mount and the power source for recharging your camera. And here's another piece that's going to attach to that piece I just told you about. And for the for this piece right here, it assembles on, it snaps in, and we'll show you here in just a minute how that all assembles. Okay, next slide coming up here are the two base mounts with two extra 3M pads, because the base mounts already have 3M pads assembled, so you get two extras. So if you put your 3M pad onto a surface and decide you want to move it somewhere else, you don't have to worry about it. You have extra 3M pads. You can check my reviews. There are extra places all over the place on Amazon that you can purchase extras. Okay, so here's that one mount that I told you that I particularly do not like, because it requires you to take your camera out of its protective case. So first of all, you have this large snap-in cap mount, or clip mount, that you can clip onto like a cap or something else, or you can screw this piece in, and then that would also slide into a piece. I just am not fond of that piece at all, and I don't like even recommending it in any way, shape, or form. Okay, here is the J mount being slid into a base piece and snapped in there like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start assembling a multi-axis assembly for you by taking these other pieces that were found in the center part of the case for you. I'm going to take them out and one by one start screwing them together onto the J mount. That was the first one, the second one. So there were two short ones and one long one, you notice, that were in your case, and I'm going to take the third one here. Now how you assemble them, you'll notice that two go one way, one goes the other direction on the axis. So how you put them together is going to change how the axes flow. But you'll notice that once you have them assembled together, then you can bend them, and that your axes will go those different directions. And that actually allows you to create a multi-axis assembly for attaching your camera onto the end of that multi-axis assembly. So there's how you do that. Okay, pull your camera out and remove the base mount that's already assembled onto that, and then open the camera by pulling the short first, then the long end, and drop the camera out. Now, the bottom battery cover, open that out. You notice there's no battery in it. There are 2 batteries in your case. Take the one battery out and slide it in. It's about 80% charged when it comes in from the factory, so that we can go ahead and do the programming. Turn your camera on now. You'll see your camera is functioning. Okay, there's the second battery. It's in a little plastic baggie like this. And but what you will need to have already purchased on hand is a micro SD card. I recommend 16 gigabyte. 32 gigabyte is too big. And 2.5 hours at sea will usually fill up will usually take away all the battery time, and that's about 5 gigabyte of memory on the card. Okay, these straps here are just extra holding straps. You can take one of the bands that you'll find in there and run it through one of the bases and strap it through and then around your arm and create an arm mount or a body mount or a pole mount or anything like that. So you can see how that's done here around an arm, and you can take the same thing, put it around a pole or a small branch or something like that. Okay, so here is my case after I reassembled it after putting all the pieces back together. Okay, now to programming it. Turn it on by the front button, long hold the top, which is our select key, and the front button or the side buttons are your up down. Okay, I'm going to use the front button mostly, and the top button is select settings. Okay, now going with the front button, I'm going to go down to format. The first thing we got to do is format that SD card for our camera's use. This is the first thing I want you to do. So go down to format, press the top button. Use the side button now for yes and no. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to press the top button, use the side button for yes and no. And yes, top button. And busy, please wait, completed. It takes only a second to format it. And now we're going to go and set time. And so that was just a selection. We'll circle down selection. Use the side buttons to change the time and date on our camera, and then use the front button to exit. And there are other selections that you can also check and change if you wish. You'll see you have sound indicator, other things like that that you can change. Whether or not you're going to hang your camera upside down. How long you want the screensaver to go before it blacks out on you, even though it's still working. Video resolution, you see how default is 1080p. You can also set it for lower resolution. Whether you want to go looping video, so if the card fills up, it rewrites over the old video. Whether you wanted to have a timestamp on it, going back to timestamp, and in many cases I actually like to turn it off because I think it looks sometimes ugly on my videos, especially if I'm doing music videos. I don't want a timestamp on it, my music video, and other things that you can set up on your settings. Okay, so for Tom, the Squirrel Whisperer, I hope that I've given you a lot of good information on how to use it, what it does. I hope this has been very helpful for you. But for me, I'm going to give it a full 5 Squirrel Up rating. This is a great camera. I hope you enjoy yours. Thank you very much.